To know where you're going, you must remember where you've been. It all started with a scholarship that sent an aspiring American artist to Paris and a side trip to Italy. Wedding bells rang and the couple returned to New Hampshire. Over time, the family grew to 3 girls. For our immigrant father, it was the Mills, Silver Brother, and selling sewing machines at Sears on Saturday night. Then our entrepreneurial dad opened Verani's restaurant in the mid-1950s, and in no time at all, expansion and more hours. He felt real estate was the way to go. He had made a lot of contacts in the restaurant business and hoped it would be less hours. And in 1967, just 17 years after they had met, the foundation of a business that has now celebrated its 45th year was set. The family continued to grow. Our father took on a partner in 1970 and became a 2-man shop. I graduated from high school and Johnny arrived. The best was still to come.
1973 to 1988. Margarita completed college at UNH and became a social worker. Nights and weekends in real estate, joined the firm in 1974. The company started to grow. Now there were 4 associates. We were always located on Rockingham Road in Londonderry, and we ran out of our father's house until he built his first office building, located at 80 Perkins Road, just off exit 5 of 93. Back then, we only ran out of 800 square feet. Yes, the home mortgage rates did go to an astounding 16%, but that didn't stop us. As we continued to grow, our first steps towards national affiliation was a real estate network called Homes for Living. The business continued on a growth path. Wow, 9 associates at the annual meeting and a market share of 1%. Not of the state, that's just of Londonderry. Summer gatherings, holiday parties, and hometown parades became a real tradition, a hallmark of the days ahead.
In 1988, we joined Prudential, a new franchise for the real estate industry. For the next 10 years, we experienced one of the longest recessions of our time. I was handling many of the Freddie Mac foreclosures and had the privilege of partnering up with Peg Walther, who was termed the Fannie Mae Queen. Together, we captured a good percentage of the foreclosure market, and our market share for the company took off. In 1992, Johnny graduated from Bentley and joined the firm. He quickly graduated from holding balloons, mowing lawns, installing signs, to much more important jobs like replacing computers, cleaning toilets, cheerleading, and selling.
At that time, Margarita also started growing her own family. And no, it wasn't true that she gave birth in the morning and attended a closing in the afternoon. It was actually the other way around. During this time period, we grew to 36 associates in our Londonderry home. And as the business grew, we still held on to our traditions of summer gatherings, holiday parties, and hometown parades. Speaking of holiday parades, we did have an unfair advantage when our mother built the floats. Look at some of these masterpieces. During all this time, our mother continued on with her career, designing Olympic coins, the Maine Black Bear, the nurse with a child at the Boston Children's Hospital, and many more winning creations. Our father continued to be an instrumental player in the growth of the town of Londonderry and a player in the real estate industry. He was always known as someone who wasn't afraid to speak his mind. His favorite hobby was to spend time in his garden, which he was able to do more of towards the end of his career. Sadly, we lost our dad in 1997.
But not before he got to see his son elected as a New Hampshire state representative. Johnny created many great relationships while at the state. In 1998, Johnny decided to give this new thing called the internet and a website a shot. Launching our first website, it was such a big deal, we even rented a billboard. Yeah, I was in the swamp, but it was still a big deal. Having weathered the worst of this long recession, growth was on the forefront of our minds, and in 1999 we partnered up with Pat Dowling in Derry, New Hampshire, and made our first step out of the Londonderry marketplace. The company stayed on its growth path through mergers and acquisitions. We added offices throughout the state, some of which being in Hudson, Nashua, Milford, Salem, Bedford, Hampstead, and the state capital in Concord. Entering into a new phase of growth, we realized that with growth came a responsibility to ensure our associates were the best and had the best. We were fortunate to have Deb Gallant come on board with the charge of training our associates to be the best in the state, and shortly after, Steve McGuire to assist us in our internet and business development pursuits. In 2003, we moved into our new headquarters on 1 Verani Way, and for the first time we broke into the Gibraltar Circle, which is the top 50 affiliates in the Prudential network. Not bad for a company that only 15 years earlier needed a special waiver to join because our gross commission income was so low. It was a great time in real estate, and the market was booming.
Then in 2007, it was, oh no, not again. Strength is a quality our firm has become known for. What we did was, rather than cutting services to our agents and customers, we created a new business model, leveraging our virtual tools and fantastic support. Through these years, we kept refining and improving this product. With advancements in our communications, web presence, tools, and above all these resources, the greatest attribution we have going for us is our people. We couldn't have survived, let alone grow, without you. All this enabled us to grow into new markets in New Hampshire, with our expansion into the seacoast, then working our way up to the lakes, and most recently, solidifying our presence in Bedford, Nashua, and Amherst. Although the market retreated during this time, we gained market share over our competition each and every year, becoming the #1 firm in New Hampshire.
We still enjoy having great times, even though the venues have become larger. We're even still building floats, and now we're the 33rd largest affiliate in the entire network. We have fantastic locations, great staff, and a complete and total commitment that the best is yet to come.